What's up guys, Jason here from the Piscifun YouTube channel with another episode. We're out here with my buddy Tom Boley in Green Bay chasing big pre-spawn walleyes. Today's a little bit different though. We're gonna show you how to use a finesse technique to catch these fish when the water slacks off, just like it is behind me here in Green Bay. Stay tuned.
Alright, so there's a couple of different presentations that we're using for this kind of very finesse type of day. You know, look at this. This is not the ideal day. If we get a big wind cranking and some clouds, we're ripping big plastics, we're ripping wraps, blade baits. But today we're going to a lot of smaller plastics, and this is a super finesse type bait. This is basically your fluke style bait here, rigged on a 1/4 ounce head. And basically what I'm doing with this, I'm getting it out there, and like any kind of jig fish, I'm going all the way down to the bottom of the lake. Once I'm on the bottom, you know, a lot of guys are out here ripping rods like this, popping stuff real hard. But basically what these fish want on days like this, something real subtle. And basically I'm just kind of continually reeling and popping my rod. And all that thing's doing is just kind of doing this right at the bottom. It's popping up, it's going right back down to the bottom. Popping up, going right back down to the bottom. Basically just twitching that thing along the bottom. And it's been a super productive pattern. Anytime where fish are super finicky or super lazy like they are on days like this and they don't want to chase, every few pops I might just kind of stall it out to make sure it's on bottom. And most of the time when you get a bite, what's going to happen, that tip's just going to start to load up. You're not going to feel that big jig pop because that jig's not coming very far off bottom, and those fish are just kind of coming up and grabbing onto it. So just kind of popping the rod like that, almost walking it across the bottom of the lake has been super productive today for getting bites.
All right, Tom's hooked up. First fish of the day.
First one of the day. Not a big one, so we'll take him to start. Go ahead and flip this one in. He's barely kind of boat flippable.
Funny when you're boat flipping 18-inch walleyes.
Yeah, but if that's, we're gonna catch a whole bunch of those today. And our water kind of shifted around last night, but it's gonna start getting pretty good here. Mornings are always a little bit slower, so we're gonna keep casting and hopefully put it together.
Tom is hooked up again, guys.
Feels good.
That plastic's really working for you.
Or he's hooked weird. Oh, he's kind of hooked weird.
Oh yeah. Well, that'll happen when you're popping it like that.
Smacked it though.
The thing about fishing out here, guys, in the springtime, these fish are out here so thick that when you're snapping it like that, they'll take a swipe at it, you know, and sometimes you hook them in the pectoral fin or the bottom of the chin or anything like that.
Felt the line thump, set the hook, and there he was.
But yeah, there's thousands and thousands of those guys out here right now.
No way this is a walleye.
No?
I don't know. No, it is a walleye. Look at that. Look how bad they're biting.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you can tell they're swiping. Second one in a row that
they're just trying
swing and a miss.
Not very active this morning. They're just trying to basically trap it to bottom. Yep. You can see them out there on side imaging. Alright, so when I'm looking for fish out here in the spring, basically what I'm doing is, number one, I'm looking for warm water. And that could be kind of anywhere up and down, kind of whichever way the wind blows it, or up shallow on the sand, like on a day like this where we have a lot of sun. Once I find that warm water, it's a huge sand flat out here, so I'm relying 99% on side imaging to kind of pinpoint these fish. I'm using a lot of side imaging, kind of from that 5-foot mark all the way up to like 15 feet of water. And I'm looking for those fish. They're going to be very loose pods. Fish here, fish here, fish here, fish here. Generally for a long stretch, ideally. Once I find that, normally I kind of set up a drift or kind of tag both ends of that school, and I'll just kind of work through them. So that's kind of how we're finding, locating, and catching these fish out here in Green Bay.
Yeah, that's a nice fish. Yeah. It's a nice healthy female.
One wanted it. He's got that thing.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. When they got it like that, it's a good sign.
Beauty. Not a big one, but we're catching them. So can't complain about that.
Nice healthy fish.
There he goes.
Yeah, there were guys catching some nice ones in the Mississippi yesterday. Yeah, this feels walleye-ish. That's a decent fish.
Tough to beat.
Hey, we got the walleye done. There we go. Check that fish out, guys. Nice, beautiful walleye. Even still, guys, that hook is barely in the side of his face there. But beautiful fish. Nice and fat. Up here eating before they do their thing. Go ahead and get this one back. That one got some weight to it. Oh, not real big. Smoked the heck out of that thing though. Oh yeah, look at that, the jig's just gone. So you guys, compared to earlier, this is what we want to show you. So earlier we were catching fish, you know, here in the pectoral fin, here on the side. If you look here, that fish, it's gone. That's what you want to see right there. All right, see you later, buddy. All right, guys, another great technique to use on a nice flat calm day like this is a different style plastic. Tom just showed you a fluke style. This one is a paddle tail or a swim bait style plastic. Now the difference between those two is this one is going to put off a little bit of thump in the water. So let's say you want to step up your aggressiveness just slightly, but we're not quite to that rip and wrap point. This is a good bait to throw because it throws off some good vibration and some good thump. Very similar to what Tom said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast this bad boy out there. We're going to let it get down to the bottom. And rather than kind of swim and pop as Tom was doing, as he's kind of making it go like this along the bottom, almost creeping it, we're going to give it little subtle pops. And those subtle pops are basically gonna make that jig just go up and down really quick, up and down. And it's only a few inches off the bottom. Your pop is maybe gonna be between 4 and 6 inches. And it's just gonna basically create a little reaction strike as those walleyes are there, they're on the bottom, that jig goes by their face and it's instantly, they just, boom, they just grab it. Typically they're gonna pin it to the bottom when it falls back down. And when you go to make that snap, you're gonna hook into the walleye and you're gonna set the hook after that. Again, when it's slack calm like this, you don't get a lot of days like this on Green Bay. So it's really good to know when you come out here, and you'd be surprised when there's hundreds of boats out here, you might be the only one still catching fish on a day like this. It's a nice healthy fish. Holy smoke, she's heavy. Big old spring belly.
That one absolutely throttled me too.
So that right there, guys, is why you go finesse. When that water slacks off like that, you go finesse, you match the mood of the fish, and they will choke it. Yeah, right when you switch back.
I don't know why you took it off.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. That's what it's all about right there. Big spring walleyes. See you later.
Awesome fish. Need some more like that one.
Yes.
That sun popping might make them go too. This was supposed to happen at like 10 o'clock today, according to the weather. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Check that one out, guys. That one absolutely pounded it. That was probably one of the hardest bites I've had all day long. Got her good. Finesse plastics, guys, for Green Bay walleyes. It's really flat calm out here today, as you guys can see as we're filming. And on days like today, these fish just don't want those rip and wraps. They don't want those big baits moving around. They want something nice and subtle right near the bottom that they can pick up and eat it. Go ahead and get this guy unhooked. All right, let's get this one back. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Head on over, check us out on Instagram, and hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you on the water next time.